Hello, 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 everybody. Tiffany here. Welcome to my quilting life. Today is Unsew Sunday. Unsew Sunday. Why do you ask? Well, because the first part of today, I'm picking, which is unsewing or unquilting or everything, because I'm trying to get all the stitches out of this quilt. But before I get started, don't forget to subscribe, like, share my videos with your quilty friends, as well as comment if you're watching this as a replay, because right now this is live stream, and later it'll be a replay. So let's see who all is here. Oh, and we're also on the tablet today because I didn't want any kind of spooling or anything like that, because my phone seems to not like being on live stream. So we're going to do our best to come up close when I show you things. So anyway. Hi Judy, hi Vicky, hi Lisa, hi Kathleen, hi Billy, hi Carol, hi Kim, hi Angela, I'm Mary Jane, and so I'm binding all day for Billy, hi Maxie Doodle, hi Carol, hi June. All right, hello everybody. So
you got Rowena, Heather, and Suburban.
My
Is your
chat
phone not all
is not
caught up
yet.
Oh.
Aha! Hi Rowena. Hi Heather. Hi Suburban. Hi Jessica. Hi Deborah.
Oh, I didn't even get that. Well, now you're ahead of me.
Hi Linda. So I just put Unsew Sunday because I'm unsewing, which is unquilting or unstitching or ripping or whatever you guys want to call it. I'm unsewing, even though it's still part of playing with fabric. And every once in a while, especially on the long arm, we need to unpick.
Mom's on. Mom and John.
Oh, hello. Hi, John. Hi, Ma. So every once in a while, we need to pick. And why not, on a long arm, share with you guys how to pick stitches properly, okay? And I know you've seen this, probably. Everybody knows how to pick. But on a long arm, it's a little bit different than just picking and ripping your stitches with your seam ripper on pieced parts of your quilt top, you know, so you made a block wrong and you take the stitches out. There are tons of different techniques. One is where you just, the best one is where you insert the seam ripper and slide it across. But with the long arm, it's totally different. So you've seen in videos every once in a while, say I have like a little bump and I need to pick that out, or I ran out of thread, or it hit funny or something, and you guys have seen me take the seam ripper, pop out like 3 or 4 stitches and then start over again because it's only like a little area. But what if you need to pick out a whole entire row of heavy quilting, like lots of quilting, like totally there was almost like 58,000 stitches just in this one row. It's a big quilt. It's a king size. So what if you need to do that? I kind of want to show you guys how that is done. And this works with if it's off the frame and say you want to pick a whole entire quilt, although who would really want to do that? I don't know. But some people have gotten quilting from quilters. They got their quilt quilted and it got sent back to them, and they just don't love it. They chose the design, but they just don't love it. Well, here's a way to pick it. This is what I do when I'm on the frame, and if I ever did pick off the frame, this is how I would do it too. But I just want you guys to know, don't pick it unless you absolutely have to, because it's a long process. So far I'm on day 5 of picking this. It's been a couple days, quite a few, and it's not just me. Scott's been helping too. This little by little, we're knocking it out, and I'm barely to the halfway point of this, of picking, so there's a lot more to go. But I really wanted to show you guys an easy technique to unpick or unsew. But before I start picking, let's see who else is here. Let's see. We got Patty C is here. Zella is here. Darlene is here. Janice is here. Margaret is here. Laura is here. Been picking out quilting. I've been there. We are here for you. Yeah. This is normally I don't do this, but I was quilting along, making a video even, and I didn't even post it yet because I was making this video and I was super excited. I'm quilting all nicely. And then I decided to finish for the night. I look underneath the quilt, I advanced it, and I could see the back, like, you know, on the back side right here. I saw it, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. No. You know, my first bobbin, you can see
Looked
over
very
there.
good. She's
it
just
was
picky.
my first bobbin was good, like, but it wasn't a whole bobbin. It was like a partial bobbin. So I started unpicking that section, and I get it. And then my second bobbin was absolutely horrible. But I did quilt super large. You're gonna have to go over here on this side of me probably. Wood grain is what I did. Is wood grain. I don't even know how well you guys can see the stitching.
I should be able to see it pretty good. Hi Joe, hi Nita.
I can't even see it on my screen. So.
Hi Joyce.
But yeah, I stitched wood grain, and Scott told me to just leave it, but I can't. I cannot.
It looked amazing. From the front, you could only notice anything on the back.
I cannot consciously sell a quilt with horrible stitching. So I have to go through the process of unstitching.
Did you see Patty says I'm pick man too? Or
Yeah, I have to unsew this because there is no way that I can consciously sell someone a quilt that has horrible stitching on the back. And Scott says, well, the quilt just sits on the bed, the back faces down, nobody will ever see it.
The front was amazing.
But get this, if one pin or one anything hits the stitching when it's terrible, then it'll rip that one piece and then it'll just keep tearing from then on. It's bad. Then there were eyelashes in the corners when I got close to the corners and everything. It was just bad. No, and the funny thing is the quilt prior to quilting this one, absolutely perfect.
Hi Joe.
So between the previous quilt and loading this quilt and quilting it, I ended up with bad tension. And it happens. Sometimes I use the same thread. I don't swap out different brands of thread. I have the same brand constantly running through, so I rarely have to do anything tension-wise. But every once in a while, this happens. So I'm going to teach you guys, if we can get the camera to, be nice, we're going to show you how to unstitch the easier way.
Hi Beverly.
So, hello everybody joining in. So I'm going to let Scott do the reading, and I'm going to put the camera close enough. I'm going to even turn this off because Scott can see it. We're going to bring the camera over to here so that you guys can see how this works. And I have a stool to sit on. You can stand to do this or however is comfortable for you.
I've been kneeling. Doing it next to you?
Yeah. Here. We're going to tilt it down. I'm going to start with this guy right here because it's a straightaway. Can you see it?
Hold on, let me zoom in. This thing zooms in like crazy. I don't know how clear it is once it's zoomed in. I have to go get the tablet.
Tools needed for unsewing. You need a way to remove all the threads. So I have this lint roller that pulls away all the stuff that I picked because it's going to leave little pieces.
Okay, this gray square is pretty much what they can see. So if you want to show them the lint roller, show them right there on top of the gray square.
So I have a lint roller, which helps get away, and it's actually not a roller, it's just a lint brush. You also need a pair of scissors because when you get so far, you should just trim your thread. And then you need a good seam ripper. And the cool part about these seam rippers right here, these regular style ones with the big ends, is this back side right here acts as an eraser. So when you get so far, you can just use it to erase those stitches out of the way. So, is it clear enough for me to do this now?
Hi, Shelly. Yeah.
All right. So I have myself a starter thread here. And how to get that starter thread is to unpick or unstitch or unsew about, I don't know, 4 or 5, maybe 6 to 8 stitches because some people have fatter fingers than others. We're going to unstitch it until you have a tail enough to grab it. And usually it's really small. But as I'm pulling this up, it's lifting up my bobbin. So I don't know how well this is seeable, but my bobbin thread is now lifted up with it. And I'm just going to slide my seam ripper underneath that. See if I can do it with the shadowing, not messing it up. Right there, and it's going to unpick a couple of them, and then I'm just going to be able to, every time I slide this under, to pick that stitch out, holding that thread up and out of the way, and I just like wrap it around my hand.
Hi, Mary.
I just slide this under. Oops, see, now I broke it and got to start again. So I'm going to undo like 5 or 6 stitches to where my finger can grab it.
Oh, the other Mary's on too. Hi, Mary. 2 Marys.
I'll get it to where I can grab it. So I have a little tiny thread here. I'm just going to start popping. I'm making my shadows probably blocking the video.
Hi, Terry.
It's kind of hard to do. Let's
Suburban
find
says
another
she's
start.
glad that you have the work ethic to fix it.
Yeah, definitely cannot consciously sell something that's messed up, so. Because this is just going to get listed on Etsy after I fix it. Because after I pluck all this out, I need to go and...
How clear is that, guys? Can you see it on your end?
Can you see right here where I am? So I'm just
I
lifting
can't see
that
anything
stitch.
on the white from mine. Hi, Teresa.
It's kind of hard. Let's see.
Do some on the black.
Oh, I can't if I don't have no starts from the black. And I have to wear my brace right now because my hand has been on fire the last couple days, and I think picking has something to do with it. All right, so sometimes I have to turn my seam ripper a different direction. You might have to come in and like hold the camera and come and follow me.
I can do that. I think
know,
when it's
like,
super
come on
zoomed
the
in,
back.
it's not as clear.
Come on the back, unzoom it, and then just come back here and
Okay.
watch.
Hi, Bernie. Right now your hand's in the way anyway.
Yeah. So just take yourself all the way around.
Hold on, I'm unzooming it. This is not an easy task. This tablet does not like me. And I'm not using it to watch and type on it. It does not like me. There's where Tiff works, and here's my spot. Mine's not near as far done as hers. Yes, Teresa, I have been helping her pick. I've been doing it.
All right. So come back here so you can see this.
Hi, Joy.
Let's see how well you come close in. Don't let this block you.
It's not.
Okay.
I don't
So I
see
made
it.
a long tail. I don't know how well you can see, but under there is the bobbin stitch, and I just pull it, just a little pull and tug with the seam ripper going along it, and I gotta start over again.
I'm at the back of the frame, Heather.
Yeah, he's behind the frame now, looking at you guys
I'm
from
there.
the front.
Hi, Carissa.
So I get a long enough tail, grab it with my fingers, and then get those bobbin stitches and pull up. As I pull up, it undoes it. Corners are a little bit harder because the corner the thread gets a little bit tighter. And then just use the eraser if there's threads in your way.
Hi, Marla. Marla wants to know what's going on.
I am unsewing.
Hi, Nancy.
And then I just go through and keep plucking, and my tail just gets longer and longer as I wrap it around my fingers. This makes the process go faster than trying to unstitch every other stitch or so and then try to erase them out of the way. This is a lot easier, just sliding this under. And then around certain seams and stuff, sometimes it'll seem close. So you have to adjust your seam ripper to see how it's trying to go between the seam right there because it's long. And I do not recommend a super duper sharp tipped seam ripper. I actually recommend you use the thicker ones like this because the super sharp one is just going to get into your fabric more and you'll take more of a chance of ripping the actual fabric and not just the stitches. So you're just sliding it under every other time you pull up on it.
I think this works better than zooming it in. I think zooming it in, it got blurrier. I think this is clearer.
So I'm just holding and pulling, and then you just adjust with your fingers some more and just slide it under, and it plucks a few away, sometimes more than, which is good. And then sometimes you have to adjust your hands, go from all different directions. So I really wanted to make sure I showed this because I'll be working on this for a couple days. But
Well, plus they need to learn. If we're all beginners and learning, there's beginners and people here that
beginner
don't know
long
how.
armers, and those of you who've never picked a whole quilt before sitting down, it's the same exact thing if you're sitting down and have it on your lap. You just find your start stitch and then you just keep going. And then see all these threads? They all erase out of the way like that. And then I would take my
Hi, Sandra. Linda missed
lint
why
roller.
are you tearing it apart?
You just
Linda
take the lint
asked.
roller, and then that gets the rest of it off, and I just take all this and throw it in my little garbage bag that I have. I'm unstitching this because my tension was horrible on the back. which I cannot show you because that's in the dark side, and I don't feel like rolling it and unrolling it, so. But it was horrible stitching. Trust me, it was.
Krista says she likes seam ripping. She
Yeah.
says she'll trade you tucking all the threads on her quilt.
Well, then you could come help me. I wish
That's
there was.
completely finished. What does tucking all the threads mean?
Like tying them off probably, or hiding them under. I don't ever have to really do this often because I normally pay attention to my tension in the beginning, but this one, I knew it was good at first. I looked, and then the more I kept going, I didn't check. So instead, I get to rip it all out. Which is okay, I suppose, if you are bored and have nothing else better to do. See, I keep going in the fabric. So if you keep going into the fabric and not under the stitch, then you just need to move your seam ripper to a different position. And then when it gets too long and you're tying your fingers up with the tail, just snip the tail away, you know, so you still have a long piece, but just snip it away with the scissors. That's what the scissors are for. And just keep seam ripping. Or in this case, it's not a seam rip, it's an unstitch. Or an unsew, or a pick. And now I gotta adjust my chair because I'm getting pretty far here. So yeah, it was beautiful on the top. Obviously the stitching looked great. And I'm gonna post the video either way just to show you guys how to do this. But unfortunately, it's just a video to show you how, and that's it. Because I'm, you know, picking it all out, and there's going to be a different video on the same exact quilt of a different stitch, because I'm not doing this all over again. Once I ripped it out, I changed my, I was like, nope, I am not stitching wood grain again, because if I do something else, then maybe it'll be easier to rip a second time, but I'm going to definitely make sure my tension is good before I start stitching it.
Heather says, just keep picking, just keep picking.
Yep. You know, after a while, you know how you guys like watching the videos or listening to my voice talk or listening to the sound of my machine? Well, this is mesmerizing for me. I'm listening to the sound of the pick. Every time it hits a certain thread, when those little pops that happen in between the first pick, all those little popping sounds, they're mesmerizing to me. Like, I don't know.
I've been helping her, Marla. I've been helping her.
He's doing the filming part though for now, and then we're gonna, in a little bit, we're gonna just gonna unpick just a little bit. We're gonna switch to a different one because I keep the long tails after a while. So I keep my long tails, so I have quite a few tails I could start from at any time.
Yes, Heather, we know all about Finding Nemo.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna keep.
And Finding Dory, the second one, yeah.
Doing this. Oh, and then in other news, since the video does say more, later after I'm done picking, I will announce the Dresden Sew Along, since I'm turning it into a sew along to make a twin size Dresden quilt. And it's going to be a start to finish, so I'll even show you how to quilt it. And then the secondary project, there'll be a secondary project that comes from the scraps, which you guys can do with or not. It doesn't really matter. You can just watch. But I will give you all the supplies needed, and you guys will have a week to get those, because I'm not going to start this week. I'm going to start next week, giving my hand just a little bit more time to use the rotary cutter. So you can see my tails get really, really, really long, and I just snip them so that way it's a little bit shorter.
Jill wants to know how much needs to be picked.
All of it. All this stitching is being picked.
Yeah, well, how much did you do? It's not the whole quilt. It's just
no, it's not the whole
row.
quilt. I just got one row before I decided to stop for the night, and then I looked underneath and I was not happy, so I started picking that night. I started picking that night. I haven't posted the video because I was so mad that I have to pick all this out, but and then I'm going to show you guys how to get all those stitches gone, because see, you could see all the stitch holes, and like it's pulling my batting up. This erases the batting though, by the way, but it's going to keep pulling it up in the black sections because I'm still picking. So when I'm done picking, I'll erase all the black sections, and then we're going to get rid of all these previous stitch holes, and I'll show you guys how I do that when I get that far. That'll just be another video, obviously, because I am not that far, and I don't want to jinx myself. And if you find yourself accidentally ripping the thread like Scott seems to do every single time, just start a new one.
It doesn't go near as easy for me as it does for Tiff.
Yeah.
I guess it's because the first time I've ever really done it. And Tiff's used to it. I don't know.
Yep, I've done this several times.
I got the hang of it today. It was going well.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for like 3 days. Last night it did not
5
cooperate
total
at all.
days. 5 total days.
Last night it pissed me off and I just had to stop because I was getting too angry. But
So you
today
just
it went
get
very well for me when I was helping you. I did a whole area, a whole section.
CJ, can you pass me that mail at the end? So I want to show you guys today I had a gift delivered to me from one of my local subscribers slash long arm clients.
I don't know if
Yeah,
she wants it. Do you want the package?
Yeah, and the bottom part and the pack. No, the other part of the package.
That
Yes,
thingy?
that. Yep, so that
Okay.
they can read it. And then the 2 little things that came with it. Up, it's a little candy and a round thing.
It's like an eraser.
Yeah,
That's what I thought too.
yeah.
Hi, Jim.
All right, so today's today's one of my local friends slash subscribers slash long arm clients had to bring me a special gift. She was watching one of my videos and she realized that it was recent, so recent enough that she went and purchased something for me that I have been wanting. So I'm going to show you what she got me.
Stella says the stitches go in so fast and come out so slow.
Oh,
yes.
yes.
We agree with you.
She got me this wonderful that I've been wanting, the 4-in-1 by Natalia Bonner, the 4-in-1 piece and quilt 4-in-1 long arm ruler with the large thing. I haven't peeled the paper off because we haven't, I didn't have something sharp yet to pull it off. But this is what the 4-in-1, I'll put it back on here, ruler by Natalia Bonner looks like. So she brought this for me today, and it came in a
Can we go over
package.
this way a little? We're right under this light, and I'm getting a huge glare from this plastic. There we go. That's better.
So this is what it looks like, and it came from peaceandquilt.com, Natalia Bonner, and then she sends a little, coupon code and her little logo, as well as a little orange candy.
Yeah, it's a piece of candy. We thought it was an eraser at first.
Yeah,
But it's not.
it's an orange candy and her little logo, and that's what she mails out when she mails her stuff directly from her house, because that's where she has all her business stuff. So this is what the 4-in-1 looks like for those that are curious, because I'm going to be long arming using this in the future. Not on this quilt, obviously, but future quilts will be having me do this. And it has a nice big curve on the top. I'm loving it. And I thanked her and gave her a big hug. It was wonderful to get a gift like this today.
She's a very nice lady.
I have a headache, so this made my day. Just gave me some extra added love for the day. All right, where was I?
Wherever you are, right in here, under the light somewhere.
Let's erase these away. But so yeah, that's what my friend Sue here in town brought me as a gift. She was like, I'm hoping you didn't get it already, but here's a gift for you. And I was like, no, I don't think whatever you brought me I would have. And if I did, I would still figure out a way to use it. And yeah, it turned out to be the ruler. She said, I just watched a recent video and I wanted to get it for you so bad.
I haven't bought you anything but fabric in a while. I still need to get you that foot.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting to look it up since the last time it was sold out.
All right, so yeah, that was a wonderful thing today. So, and if you need to change positions with your hand, it's really good to do that.
Yes, Moira, the seam ripper does have an eraser on the end. Hold on, I'll have her show it to you again. I'm moving around, making everybody dizzy.
What? Oh yeah, you use the end of the seam ripper. So like if the stitch didn't come all the way out, you just use the end of the seam ripper and it pulls it. And then I go back with my lint brush thing and brush the excess away. So you can see all my long strings. These are all my starters,
What's the name of the pattern on this?
This is
Judy
called
S.
quatrefoil. And before we go into the room to do the announcement of the sew along, then I'll show you guys the whole quilt. I'll pull it out, the rest of it. It's a king size. It's either a super large queen or a king. It is 100 by 112. It's very large. And then I did it with sashing, and my sashing actually grew into 2 borders that created the last 9 patch. So it made it look really awesome. Okay, so this area of the wood grain, this is where we break a lot because the corner threads, because of going around it. So this is where we have to like super pay attention to what we're doing here. Yeah, see, I broke it. Sometimes right next to the seams, every time I get to where there's a seam, it makes it a little bit harder. So sometimes you'll have to actually manually.
Do you know who makes these seam rippers?
This seam ripper is, I don't know, let's see. This is a Dritz, and the other one that's the same exact thing is Zilly? Does that say Zilly? Z-I...
Hey, let me see. You keep working.
Z-I-L, I don't know what it says. It says Zilly or something. But I like these for the long arm picking because they have the wider mouth right here at the top. The actual flat part of it, it's wider, and the tighter they are, the more chances you have of actually ripping your fabric and not just your stitches.
It looks like an ORLTZ.
I don't know, but I prefer these kinds for this.
Hi, Connie.
Let me see
I don't understand what your comment is.
So yeah, there's 2 different kinds. They're the same exact thing. They're just not the same company, but they both have the eraser on the end that pulls all this out. So they both do that. They have other brands that do the same exact thing, but like I said, I really like these wider pokey parts.
Oh, so that's why I got the pink one, huh? You got purple pattern.
Yeah, because purple is my favorite color.
Well, I knew that.
But the pink one came from Michelle, so you're using something that Michelle gave me.
Well, there you go. Michelle, are you on tonight? I'm using your seam ripper. I don't think she's on yet. I haven't seen her.
She messaged me earlier. Well, at least was on Facebook earlier. See, sometimes I can't get it out because the way the corner landed, so I have to like literally fiddle with it. Try to get those stitches, because that's what happens. And this brace is stopping me from getting in those angles.
And Darlene, I'm sure you can find this thing probably everywhere and anywhere. Walmart probably even sells them.
Yeah.
We are an affiliate now, SewingMachinesPlus, but I'm sure that you can find them other places.
Yeah, these seam rippers are a dime a dozen. They're like, I think they're like $3.49 or so, somewhere around there. And see, notice I turn my seam ripper as I go different directions for my hand to be able to do it. And then here we move all those stitches out of the way so we can continue seeing what I'm doing.
Oh, Mary noticed you got your nails done again. She says they look nice.
Yep,
I need
this
to get mine done.
I went with, what is it called? Plum something or other. It's a purple. I had to get them trimmed down. They were like this long because remember I got them done with before my surgery. I got them done like a week before the St. Patrick's Day, and they've been that color the whole time, but they got really long, so I had to go and get them trimmed down and recolored because it's not St. Patrick's Day anymore, although that was a very pretty green.
Diane says they make a bigger seam ripper too.
Yeah. I don't like the bigger one because I do stitch at 10 stitches per inch, and this is like the perfect size.
And Jill is curious if the numb and tingling went away. She hasn't caught you
The
live
numbness and tingling has gone away, but I'm having cramping where the surgery incision is, and along my pinky finger, along the edge where the incision is in my hand. And every time my hand folds in half like this, anytime there's a position like this or lifting anything, then it shoots sharp pains at my wrist and along where the incision was. So I'm definitely attempting to just not do so much with my hand and just do my exercises, right? It's annoying actually. But I can use a rotary cutter now, and by next week I'm hoping it'll be just a little bit better.
Margaret says, you may be overworking your hand. That's what I tell her all the time. She don't listen to me, Margaret, so good luck with that. And then they all said, bless me. Thank you, guys.
Alright, get a couple more. At least get around that. Well, if I can get around this, then we'll just go do something else. We'll go into the quilt room and
We played with insulation yesterday in the attic, and I've been coughing and sneezing
Oh yeah,
ever
so there was
since.
other things that we've done around here, so that what you guys know why I haven't been live lately is because yesterday was insulation day. So we went and spent a whole bunch of money that could be used for quilting and sewing and fabric,
Yeah,
but
well, it
nah,
needed to be done.
just
It
kidding.
needed to be done.
We realized
It
when
was quite
Scott was up
important.
in the attic that a lot of spots above our house, like the house had insulation, but it was not up to par. It was not up to insulation standards. He said when he got up there, there was so many blank
Yeah, there was
spots
a lot of
and
empty spots.
openings where there should have been insulation and there wasn't, and we always wondered why we had hot spots in our house. So hopefully we'll notice within the next, month or two a difference in not only our air conditioning bill, since it's that time of season where we need to use our air conditioner, but a difference in hot spots, in our house. We also insulated the whole entire garage. Yes, we did it after we moved the long arm inside the house. Like I could have done it all these years, but we haven't had the money all these years. So pretty much got to thank the stimulus for that to pay for our attic to be done.
It needed to be done one way or another. I've been waiting 12 years to do it. I've been sitting around.
That is what we've been planning and prepping to do, is prepping the garage to have the insulation blown. And I was the smart one and hung sheets around the hole to get into the attic to prevent all the static electricity insulation from sticking everywhere but the sheets. And it got on the floor a little, but
Hi, Alan.
I saved the rest of the garage from having to be covered in fiberglass insulation, because that's what we ended up getting since they were out. And I told you guys this in the last time's live chat that we were trying to do it, but the company was out of what we needed, so we had to go with a different brand.
Well, we'd spend your whole video talking about my issues with Lowe's and Home Depot. I don't think they need to hear all that.
Yeah, it was an ordeal.
It was more of an ordeal to get the stuff and then return the machine than it was to actually do the job.
Yeah, it didn't take long at all for us to do the job. I didn't really do anything. I was the screamer between Scott and CJ. CJ was the loader of the machine, and Scott was up in the attic crawling around from one end of the house to the other, blowing the insulation in. And yes, we wore masks, and well, we tried to wear safety goggles, but it's really kind of hard when it's like 100 degrees in the attic to see.
Yeah, I didn't wear safety goggles.
With safety goggles, but I wore them.
You wore a mask too.
Mask, safety goggles, long sleeve shirt, because I didn't want any additional itching, because I already itch from MS.
It wasn't bad, I told you. My legs were covered with it, and it wasn't that bad. It didn't actually start itching until I got in the shower. Then it was itching.
So yeah, we've been trying to do little home improvement things, little by little, as we can do them. Finally got one thing knocked off the list. All right, I'm gonna rip this bottom right here, and then leave that tail, and grab this piece, and then we'll go to the other
Marla
one.
says, I bought 2 of Tiff's quilts with part of my stimulus money I contributed to the insulation.
Yes,
You probably did, Marla.
yes.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you guys. Well, we had been saving and saving, and every time we saved, something else came up. So my de-stashes of my quilts actually pay for more than just making more quilts. They pay for other stuff too around the house, because we are homeowners, so we have to make sure we pay for those things.
There's Michelle. Speak of the devil. We were talking about you, Michelle. Are your ears ringing?
All right, so I'm going to take this to over here where this other tail is, and then we're going to go over into the quilt room. So we're going to go for a small walk to the quilt room, and then we'll announce what we need, what supplies you're going to need for the Dresden Sew Along. If you guys would like to join doing it, I'll tell you all the stuff is needed to make exactly what I'm making. And if not, I will tell you what is needed if you're not making exactly what I'm making, but you're making close to.
Hi, Anna.
Alright.
Maybe that's what I did wrong. I like hot showers. I took a hot shower. Anna says take a cold shower.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
After the insulation, yeah. Because the water, when I showered, that's when it made my legs itch. Because I wore shorts up there. Because it's hot here.
Yeah.
I wore a long sleeve shirt, but I wore shorts. And yeah.
And our attic isn't very, like, I mean, it doesn't have
Carissa
much
says
room
I
up
bought
there.
the Juki with my stimulus.
See, we all did something. All right, so I'm gonna leave that there. I'm gonna clean up my mess. And then you can see all my start threads, and like anything that the thing didn't pick up, the eraser will. And you can see my batting. Can you see the shininess of the batting coming through the black?
I don't know if it shows on camera or not.
Well, I just take the eraser part and do this. I'll do this better after I'm done picking, but it just pulls the rest of the batting that's poking through of the blocks, and then it leaves it clean, and I have a nice clean surface again. So, all right, we're gonna take this.
We already hit 100 beginning of this month, the end of last month, Mary, but then it cooled down a little bit because we've been having insane wind, and the wind has been cold.
Yep.
So it's been cooling it down.
So then I just take all this thread and I stick it in my new little, I used a gift bag at the end of my frame over here, because we were going to buy a little trash can, and then I thought, no, Thumper, oh, I got to turn that, it's got an address on it. Thumper would have got a little trash can, so I made a bag and put a trash bag in it, so we just take the bag out, and all it is a Christmas gift bag. Put my threads in. So here, come over to the front side and we'll show everyone what the whole quilt looks like.
I have Carhartt coveralls, Teresa, but they're big and heavy, and I didn't want to wear them up there.
Yeah, it would have been too hot up there in the attic.
They're really nice. I love my coverall, but yeah.
All right, come around to the front, Scotty.
Well, I was just going to hand it to you while I walk around. That way they don't get busy.
All right, guys.
And then you can hand it back to me if you want. Or
Yep, I'm going to hand it back to you so I can pull the quilt out. So this is what a quatrefoil quilt looks like. I'm pretty sure I've showed this to you, but I got a lot of new people since then. So back up as much as you can.
Well, okay, one at a time here. I have two different things.
So this is what it looks like.
We are zoomed out, right? Okay, yep. I think we're zoomed out.
That is the big, huge quilt that I need to quilt.
Yep, I love those
It's a
Carhartt
good
bibbers. Those things are awesome, Marla.
It is a good thing I do not have to pick a whole entire quilt in only one row. But this is what I'm picking. And then I'll quilt it. The rest of the way, a normal way. But you can see where I made the blocks, and then I brought the blocks out into the edge to create 9 patches throughout the whole quilt. I had fun when I did this one.
And her design on it, the hardwood floor, what'd you call that?
It's wood grain.
That wood grain looked awesome.
But I am not requilting wood grain and then having to pick it all again if I have issues.
Auntie Ann wants to know if you made this.
Yes.
They're all saying it's beautiful and breathtaking and pretty and
This is
love
one of
the
mine.
colors.
I figured somebody would want it if somebody purchases it on Etsy or something as a wedding gift, because it's black, white, and gray, and who can go wrong with black, white, and gray? And it's got little, like, I don't know, it's just got like little crowns in some of them and flowers, and it's got a little bit of everything so that it really looks like it could be a wedding quilt.
Well, even the one with the flowers look cool. That's flowers there.
Yeah.
You guys can tell. And they look cool.
All right, let's take this party to the room.
She didn't do it on live, making it. She did make a video of it.
No, I didn't make a video of this one either. I probably was sewing it on a Sew Sunday. All right, I'm going to take you guys to, this camera's going to suck for a second. I just didn't want you guys getting dizzy. We're going to go into the quilt room now so that I can announce the Sew Along. This is not a very flattering angle of my messy hair. All right. Let's see if that'll stay. Oh, and can you see this right here? That butterfly? That's a gift from Nita. Isn't it beautiful? She made it for me. All right. When Scott gets in here, he can adjust this a little bit different. So yesterday...
Okay, I'm here.
You can adjust it a little bit different if it needs to be. Yesterday, I went with Alexa to...
Hi, Brenda.
You guys know I do a mommy and kid date once a month with all my kids. Not with all of them. So like one kid gets January, one got February, one's March. So Alexa, I started back over and Alexa got this month. So we went to, since I told you guys Alexa's going to get married, we decided to go to the thrift store and look at wedding dresses. But they didn't actually have any this time. But while I was there, I found me a brand new iron. With a ceramic sole plate. Yeah, like really I need a 7th iron. But look guys, it has a retractable cord. So it has a retractable cord.
Jill wants to know if that was your own pattern.
Yeah, no, that was not my own pattern. It's Missouri Star Quilt Company pattern called Quatrefoil. But yeah, I got a brand new iron that was still in the box for $6.49. Like, what?
Awesome.
So I'm going to use this one on the long arm because this is lightweight. It's a, what is this? GE. So this is really lightweight. So on the long arm, I'll be able to steam through with this one because this one's lighter than all the irons. So I got a brand new iron.
Is it a constant steamer though?
No, it's not a constant steamer, but the picture shows it's got auto shut off.
Michelle
the picture
says that's my favorite iron.
The picture shows it has lots of steam though. See that? So we'll see.
Diane says, did you plug it in?
Yes, I plugged it in at the store, and Alexa was so surprised. We couldn't put it back in the box the whole rest of the time we were shopping because the iron was still hot while we were walking around the store. I was afraid that we were going to burn people walking by people because the thrift store was crowded yesterday. It's always crowded on Saturdays, like always.
Teresa says, boy, you needed another iron.
Yeah,
Teresa.
right?
She has like 6, 7.
The next thing I got is I saw this on a hack. And since my hand is not fully healed, I cannot, because you guys know I'm ambidextrous with my cutting. I can't, when you're, okay, hold on. We're going to bring up I can't lay the ruler on the table and stick my hand on it yet, like this, and push pressure to hold the ruler down and cut left-handed. Now, with my left hand, I can with my right hand. But to make things easier for me, I decided to go the fun route. Hold on, let me do this. Bam! Shower anti-fall, or the oh shit handle, sorry for the words, but it's an oh shit handle for the shower. And I'm going to do this. I saw it as a hack for rulers. Instead of buying a little one, this was $4, and I decided to get it. It was at the thrift store. They had 2, but I only needed 1. So now I can hold it and cut nicely with both hands because I found my, I can't do it right now because I got the brace on, but I can actually hold the ruler this way, just not this way. So I can cut left-handed for now, you know, and then afterwards when I'm done with it in the quilting room, I can throw it out in the shower if I want, even though my shower is already handicap proof, but it holds all size rulers. So this was definitely a good idea. See, it holds the big rulers perfectly. Like, this is not going anywhere. So I definitely took advantage of a hack that I saw online. Isn't that cool? So for $4, why not? If I can get it. It comes off easily,
Marla
too. You
has
just
a couple
unsnap
of those
them.
she says she uses, and she says they're so strong. She
Oh,
got
yes.
hers at Harbor Freight.
Yep.
Which we have a Harbor Freight, too.
Yep, I could have got them at Harbor Freight or somewhere, but they're like $12 or something there when I got it for $4 at the thrift store.
Well, I'm sure it might
And
be
then
cheaper there. I'm just saying if you need more of them. I didn't know they sold them at
also,
Harbor Freight.
Alexa, I went to the dollar store, and you guys are actually positioned on some more tubs because I needed more tubs for my 5-inch pre-cut squares. So I got 2 more tubs with the snap lids. And then Alexa, at Tuesday morning, found herself the perfect fabric because she wants a wedding quilt. So I'm going to make the quilt, obviously. She hasn't decided on a pattern yet, but she got 3 jelly rolls because she wants a big quilt. So 3 jelly rolls, and they're really, really pretty. They're little bees and little beehives and honeycombs and then flowers, and they're all the same. They don't have a ton of mixture of prints, but for the price she got them, and she didn't want like a ton of too much color. And then she got 2 fat quarter bundles to make 2 pillow cases to go with, because I told her it could be made from fat quarters, a pillowcase, you know, but the kind with the lip and everything like that. So she's going to get a wedding quilt with those fabrics with matching color
shams. Mary wants to know what is the name of the jelly rolls.
They are, the company is Quiltology strips.
Quiltology.
Yep,
I like it.
Quiltology. This is 40-piece fabric strips called Beehive from Quiltology. For you guys that don't know what I'm saying, there's Quiltology. I don't know if I'm holding that too close or not.
And Marla said those things are so strong they bend her ruler, so be careful.
Yeah, I'll be careful, trust me. I have it off the ruler when I'm not going to use it. Yeah. And then for
I don't want to
me,
buy you new rulers.
for early Mother's Day gift, she got me, not 1, but 2 fat quarter bundles with feathers on them. So they're feathers and I'll just show you in a second because it's corresponding to something else. So she got me 2 fat quarter bundles of that, and then 4 charm packs. They're exactly the same. So this is how I'll show you what is in here because these match the charm packs. So there's this print, and these are also Quiltology. Then let me move them out of the way. Then there is the one with the feathers. And then there is this one. I think that's feathery type print. And then another feather print, a different one. And then a flower print on white.
Hi, Teresa.
So she got me those. And I am not liking how they cut their backs. They pinked the back too. So they literally laid it on the cardboard and then pinked the whole cut. So they're actually really sharp. So I was not happy when I went to pull it out of the bags. I was like, these are sharp. Then she got me 2 fat quarter bundles of this colorway. They are butterflies. So you can see they're butterflies. And then that with the gray. And then a gray on white.
These are from Tuesday morning.
And then a yellow and white. And then that one. And then this one is pretty much got the same exact stuff in it except for the back one. It has this instead of the butterflies. So they both have the same exact, oh no, this second one right here is different too. So there's that one also, but the rest are the same. So
Suburban
yeah.
says, oh, she's the favorite child now.
You know what? Both my daughters buy me fabric.
Don't say that.
All right, and then another
Teresa wants to know who got
fat
you
quarter
all that.
bundle, Alexa. So here's one with feathers. And then, I don't know what that is. Looks like plus signs. And then a peach with a polka dot on it. It's very spread out. And then some arrowheads. And then that. And this one is exactly the same. Like this one doesn't even have a mess. These are all exactly the same. So they're both the same. So that is from my daughter Alexa. So all those fat quarters and all the charm squares. So I can make some stuff with all that.
DB's never heard of Tuesday morning. She says it must not be around there.
There's Tuesday mornings scattered across the whole country.
Yeah, Margaret says they don't have a Tuesday morning. Someone else said theirs closed because of the recent economical issues.
Yep.
Which we can't mention.
All right. On to actual stuff now. Can you turn the fan on? I'm sweating.
Yeah. I didn't realize it wasn't on.
I'm a hot Tiffy. All right.
It is hot in here. I agree.
So we are going to make a...
Hot mama.
Can I have that gray Dresden, please?
Yeah.
Just the gray one only.
Okay.
So I made myself a Dresden plate so that I can show you guys. I just made one that's going to be a wall hanging. Just to show you guys the actual size that one Dresden block is going to turn out with these supplies that you are going to need for the Dresden Sew Along. So pay attention, because if you want to sew along and make your own twin size Dresden quilt, just like me, with whatever colors of your choosing, I'll tell you where I got mine too. But if you want to sew along, I'm starting next Monday, which is, oh my goodness, I forgot the date. I looked at the date before I got on here. Hold on.
Let me go.
Let me tell you.
Because I don't have my phone.
Next Monday, I looked before I got on here. Today is what day? The 18th. So the 26th. The 26th of April, which is next Monday, not tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah, next Monday, not tomorrow, but the following Monday. That gives you guys plenty of time to get supplies if you want to sew along. The 26th at 11 a.m. Obviously the video the whatever is going to be posted, so you guys will get notifications hopefully, because I'll pre-mark that on the YouTube thing. But for the Dresden Sew Along, and I'm even going to put in the community tab the supplies needed, just so you know. But I'm going to show you the size block. This is bordered, obviously, but this is the size block. If you take away the border and just have the sashing, this is about what we're making here. So, this is how big the blocks are going to come out. I had to pre-make one so that I could show you guys.
Hold it down a little. You're going way too high. There you go.
Is that perfect?
Yep.
Can they see the whole thing?
That is perfect, yes.
Alright, so this is the size we're making. They come out 23-inch blocks. They're super enormous.
Sorry to hear that, Marla.
So this is my wall hanging that I made just to give you guys an example of how big the Dresden is going to come out that we're making. So that's just one block, but we're going to be making 12 of those to make one quilt. So there's that. So what you're going to need, the first thing that you absolutely have to have is a Dresden plate ruler or template. So I'm using, and this makes the 10-inch, this is for what we're going to be cutting to make such big block, is a 10-inch one. This is the Layer Cake Dresden plate by Missouri Star Quilt Company. I believe it's like $11 or something like that on Missouri Star's website. I'm going to be using this whole entire size. If you already have your own Dresden ruler, like if you have this one right here, what?
Can we take a time out real quick and tell them all, they're all hunting down Tuesday mornings because some of them never heard of Tuesday mornings, and some are saying they don't have, not every Tuesday morning has fabric.
Yeah, not
just
every
so you know.
You guys know what Ross is? You guys know Ross Dress for Less, right? Not only do they have clothing, but they have like household stuff. Tuesday morning is that without the household stuff. I mean, without the clothing stuff. It's only household goods and arts and crafts and...
They don't always have fabric. They don't always have the same stuff. So those of you that are hunting ones down like 2.5 hours away and all that, don't go running there just because we said we found something there.
Yeah, they don't always have the same.
Have it.
And ours used to have tons and tons and tons of fabric. Like every time we went to the 99-cent store, I was able to go buy a layer cake or a jelly roll or something. They haven't had that in a long time. Now they just have this little tiny box of it. It's not. And last time me and Scott were there, it wasn't even anything in it either.
Almost for a whole year of what all's been going on, they didn't have any.
Yeah.
And now they have hardly any. Their stash is not near. They used to have almost half an aisle.
Yep.
And now they have next to none.
Yep. So I'm glad I bought what I did back then, because now there's nothing barely. So.
Anyway, now you can go back.
Okay.
I wanted to get that out because they were hunting up.
So if you don't have this template, and say you have this easy Darlene Zimmerman template, which is common among templates. I'm holding my hand in front of it so you guys can see what it says. This template is the same exact size as the Missouri Star, except it's not as tall. It ends at the 8-inch line. So if you only have that, but you actually have a regular ruler, you can do the ruler butt-up method, which I will show you how to do during the sew along tutorial, how to lay your smaller one on the fabric, because we're cutting the fabric to size, and I'll tell you the requirements of fabric soon. I will show you how to butt your ruler up, then move this out of the way, cut it, and then switch to the other angle, lay this on, butt the ruler up, cut that. I will show you how to use the smaller one to get to this size. So if you don't have the one from Missouri Star, don't worry, as long as it's this same angle.
There's Suburban says she has
as long as it's the same angle, which I think it's like, I don't even remember the degrees, 9 degrees or something like that. I don't know. I'll show you how to do it either way, because we're going to be using this size piece, which is one piece is this size. I did this purposely so you guys could see. So this is this size, but if you don't have this size ruler, don't worry, because we're going to be able to cut it like that. You may be like, oh, how do I do that? I'll show you guys how, okay? That way you guys can make the exact same thing I am making, because I didn't do the yardage for a small cut one. I did the yardage for a big 10-inch one. So there's that. So again, you need a Dresden of some sort, that the ones that when you put them together you get 20 blades off of one piece. Okay. The next thing you are going to need is the fabric requirements. Now, like I said, I will post a post in the community tab here on YouTube. It goes home, videos, playlists, and then community. That community tab, I'll post a picture of my supplies, but with the directions of what supplies you will need. So we're going to go off of what I have here, because what I have here is making 2 projects, but only a small amount of it is going to the second. 1 40 piece, that's 40 piece fat quarter bundle. I recommend, depending on your background color that you're going to choose, I'm using a light background color so my Dresden blades pop out. I want one that has mostly darks, but I do need the lights. We do need the lights because those are going to come into play, and you'd be so surprised. What are you going to use them for? Trust me, you guys will like the ideas that are flowing through my head to do this. So 1 40 piece fat quarter bundle. I am using, just because I know you guys want to know, Bittersweet Lane, and I'm going to give you the numbers off of this just so you can. I bought this from Missouri Star Quilt Company. Bittersweet Lane 9640AB. It's the AB bundle, 18 by 22 inch by Moda Fabrics on Missouri Star Quilt Company, and it has all the numbers and stuff on it. It is a, now I can't think of the word again. It slipped my mind. Kansas Trebles. So it's a 40 piece bundle, but I could tell you right now, if you only have a 20 piece bundle, so say you only have 20, which is like about right here, you can make just the Dresdens and not all the added extras that I'm going to be doing with the extra in the bundle. So if you only have a 20 piece bundle, you will still be able to make this project, okay? Because the 20 colors are in here. So there's 20 different colors in the blade. I'm doing 40 piece sets so that I can mix mine around, but if you only have 20, you can still do this, okay? So just know you don't actually have to, but to make what I'm doing and have the leftovers for the secondary project, which is a wall hanging, just so you guys know, it's a wall hanging is the secondary project that I'm getting from the leftovers. 40 piece fat quarter bundle. The next thing you will need is, okay, this one I have to explain to you again. 6 yards of background fabric. So here is 6 yards of my background fabric. It is Sweet Holly String of Lights Tonal 10 yardage. This is also from Missouri Star Quilt Company. I don't know what number on here, but it's just called Sweet Holly String of Lights Tonal 10 yardage. That's if you want to do exactly what I'm doing. I got 6 yards. In real life, and I'm going to tell you right now, you actually need 8 yards of fabric if you do not want to piece your backgrounds of your Dresdens, which we are going to do. So if you don't want to piece them and have 4 patches, again, referring to this, I have to do this. If you don't want this to be a large 4 patch behind your Dresden and you only want 1 solid piece of fabric, then you need to have 8 yards for this project to make it work. But we are doing, I can pick that back up again, 6 yards, because the leftovers on the ends of cutting 23-inch cuts, I'm going to piece those together with fat quarter bundle pieces. Make sense? So we're going to be playing the mismatch game, and it's going to be awesome. So just know you need 8 yards if you want a solid piece, 6 yards if you want to do it my way. All right, so background fabric again, Sweet Holly, 6 yards. If you don't want seams, 8 yards. Trust me, I did the math. And this math was good. All right, I'm going to have sashing. Sashing is this right here. Again, this has already got borders on it because it's a wall hanging, but sashing will be this. We are not using this size sashing. We are going to use a bigger sashing. This is just a small little block that gives you the idea. So for sashing, I got through the years oh my gosh, this word I cannot say, Scott. What does this say? Preennnials.
How big is the quilt going to be while I look up words?
Oh shoot.
Perennials.
Perennials. I forgot already. Hold on, I'll do it in a second. It's called Through the Years Perennials Purple Yardage. Again, I got 2 yards from Missouri Star. It is actually purple. I know it's in the package. It doesn't really look that purple, but it's a purple color. So it looks kind of brown probably on camera because it's in a bag, but I haven't opened any of this yet. So it's 2 yards of Through the Years Perennials Purple Yardage. 2 yards. This is for our sashing. And whatever's left, like I said, all the stuff that's left from all of these supplies are going towards the second wall hanging project.
It's going to be a twin size?
Yes, it's going to be a twin size. We are making a twin size.
See, Melissa was paying attention.
It's going to be like 75 by 90, somewhere in that range, twin size. Because I have no idea where I left that paper, where I wrote it down. But anyway, it's going to make a twin.
A twin size or not a twin?
No, she wanted twin size.
Oh, okay.
It's going on a daybed. All right. The next one is our last fabric, is a border fabric. So if you want a border, if you don't want a border, you don't have to have it. You can just have the sashing and the whole entire thing. I am doing a border. If you want to do a border with me, because it's a sew along, we are doing a border. You need 2 yards, and I, for mine, am using Sweet Holly Wreath Vine black yardage, and you are totally not even going to see this. It is black on black. So it's like a grayish black with black, like, leaves on it. Again, it's called Sweet Holly Wreath Vine Black Yardage. All of these are Kansas Troubles prints. All of these I got at Missouri Star Quilt Company, just like where you can find this ruler. So,
Thank
yeah.
you, Laura.
So 140 piece fat quarter bundle, 6 yards of background fabric, 2 yards of sashing and border 1, which, because that's the sashing, ends with a border 1. And then 2 yards of a border fabric, which will be a 5-inch border. So that's how it'll finish at 5 inches, because it's being cut at 5.5. So that is what you need. And again, if you don't want to make all the extra stuff and you just want to make the big Dresden blades, you'll need a 20-piece fat quarter bundle and 8 yards of background fabric and 2 yards of a sashing if you don't want borders. So if you don't want to do all the extra work that I'm going to do, you can bypass that, but I'm going to be piecing some of my background pieces. So again, it's making a nice big, without these borders, that's 23 inches from here to here and here to here. Okay? Technically it's 22 and a half.
Asked, can you use a jelly roll for the Dresdens?
No, because the top part of the well, you can if you piece them together. So if you make jelly roll strip sets, you can. But we're doing, you can use a layer cake though. If you have a layer cake, you would need, oh my God, think about this. You need 2 layer cakes, I think. Because you only get 3 per layer cake square. Hold on, we're going to do the math real quick because I want to make sure for a fact. I think it's only 3 per layer cake square. I have a layer cake just lying around. We're going to do this right now, right in front of you. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you only get 3 Dresden blades per layer cake square. So you will need 2 layer cakes because we're making 12 blocks. And you only get 3 per square, and there's only 40 squares or 42 squares, depending on the layer cake brand. I think there's 42
Jim was
in this
planning
one.
on using layer cakes.
Yeah, you can use layer cakes. Just get 2, just in case, because I'm pretty sure
You're
not gonna get
how many blocks, so you just answered that.
12 blocks are what we're making, and they have 20 blades per block. So we're using a fat quarter bundle because you'll get 6 and 6 per each row, the way we're going to cut the fat quarter up, and then the leftover from the fat quarter bundle goes towards the secondary project. So yeah, So you can use layer cake, and if you don't want to make such a big project, like I said, you guys don't actually have to make the exact same thing. You're learning how to make a Dresden start to finish. I'm also going to show you when it's completely done how to put, when we're quilting it. I'm going to be doing it on the long arm, but I will definitely be giving you guys the idea on the long arm of how to quilt around a Dresden and make it pop without being too heavy and too crazy gone wild like my normal quilting. So it'll definitely be fun. So you guys are just going to be learning how to make a nice big huge Dresden.
Dan says 10-inch Dresden.
Yes, we're doing the 10-inch.
And then Angela says, what size is the center circle? I made 20 blades.
The center circle is 5-inch. And that's also coming from either our border or your sashing fabric. And or this. We're going to be using the light colors from all 3 of these to make the center circles on all 12. So just know I'm going to be moving them around so it's not always the same per every center circle. So again, this is how big they will end up. Obviously these aren't the colors, but this is my wall hanging that I made. I will show, oh, you also need a machine. You can do a straight stitch if you want, but it's best if you have a machine that has a blanket stitch or a zigzag stitch. And I'm going to bring this to the camera so that I can show you what I mean by that. And we're going to put it on the back side. So the back side,
loves your giant Dresden quilt.
see how oops, let's try to fold that right. So it's a blanket stitch. I'll be showing you guys how to stitch it on. I used a tight blanket stitch on this one. So you can see on the front side that they're nicely stitched down. So you need a machine that has either a zigzag or a blanket or something, but you can put, oops, you can put a straight stitch around the edges of these. I mean, there's nothing that says you can't. So if you don't have a machine that has that and you're like me and only have, you know, I have my brother, but if you only had a straight stitch machine, you'll be able to sew these down either way. So, and then the center circle is also, and then the last and final piece you need is some interfacing. So I'm just going to be using hold on, gotta make sure I got this right. SF Fusible 911 FF featherweight interfacing, and that's just for the center circles. You probably only need a half a yard of one of these because we're only cutting 12 pieces off of this. And then to make things easier, and I could tell you this,
we understand, DB. The only reason we got all this fabric is because the lady already paid for it.
Yep.
Or else we wouldn't have gotten it all. So we completely understand the monetary value of fabric.
yes,
She can't afford that much, so she's just going to make a smaller quilt.
that's fine. Like I said, that's why I told you guys that you don't have to do the whole thing. And if you just want to make a wall hanging from one block, I'm showing you how to make it. But this is a start to finish process for those that are following along the whole thing. So,
Thank you, Heather.
and the last and final thing is, and I'm only doing this, you do not have to use this part. Where did it go? When I make Dresdens, and I've done a bazillion of them, I don't like to pin them because they always end up wonky. So instead of pinning it on before I sew it, instead of putting pins in all around and poking myself while I'm trying to stitch it on, because this is such a big block, I actually have a little secret. And that little secret is stitch witchery. You're like, what? What is that? It's a double-sided adhesive, and I iron the whole thing out and flat, and then onto my background fabric, and then I put a piece of stitch witchery behind every single blade's tip, and then I don't have to pin anything to sew it down, although I will be showing you how to pin it as well, because I gotta show you anyway. But this is what it looks like. It is just a roll. It's typically for like bonding. It's a bonding web for hems, trims, belts. It's washable, and it's just a glue agent that is two-sided, and I just cut little pieces. So if you have this stuff lying around or you want to try doing it my way with this stuff, definitely say Walmart sells it for like $2.89 or something like that for just this little thing like this. And yeah, I trim away the little pieces and I just put them behind every Dresden blade, and I don't have to pin anything and poke myself because I poke a lot. I poke myself all the time. Poking is a big, that's why I don't use pins, because I'm a big poke myself poker person. So if you want to try this method out. I'm telling you guys, this method is amazing. It works the greatest. And it stops you from having to pin. So that's the last and final item that would be used, well, that I will be using in this sew along. Again, the sew along is starting Monday the, oh, my brain is spinning. Why doesn't my phone turn on as fast? Do you remember what day I said again? The 26th or something like that?
I'm not sure.
The 26th. Monday the 26th at 11 a.m. Why? Because I know that'll be a time that I'm wide awake. So, Monday the 26th. That is when this is starting, so that gives you guys plenty of time to put things together. If you want to do the layer cakes, like I said, 2 layer cakes would be better safe than sorry, because you will have to cut your center, you know, squares out to make your circles. And again, if you don't want pieced seams, 8 yards of fabric, I know it's a lot of fabric, but you'll still have tons of leftover, is the no seam amount. 6 yards is the amount you need for seams. So, whew. And or you can use a ton of different fabrics. You don't have to use the same fabric throughout the whole thing. You can make this scrappy and just use 24 inches of 12 different fabrics. You know, that if you want. That's, yeah. So, we can have fun with it, or you can just go my route. I have to make mine coordinating because it's for a client. So, there we have it. 140 piece fat cord bundle, 6 yards of background fabric, 2 yards for sashing and border 1, 2 yards for border 2, and a layer cake, Dresden, and or a small one. We'll just use rulers to cut the smaller one out, and some stitch witchery and some interfacing. And there we have it. That's all the supplies needed. So hopefully you guys will sew along. If not, you can just watch while I sew and learn how to make a very large Dresden. So, it should be fun.
And this says 11 o'clock your time, correct? Yes. That
Yes,
would be
11
o'clock
a.m.
here.
my time. It'll start the 26th, and it'll be announced, and there'll be a video live for
It's
it.
6 o'clock our time now, so whatever time it is at your guys' time, just take the difference.
Yep. All right. Does anybody have any other questions?
Bernie asked earlier 1/2 inch wide, but I'm not sure what she was talking about because I didn't see the comment.
1/2 inch wide. I don't know.
So I'm not sure, Bernie. What all were you talking about? You can ask again.
He's on the comments. I turned my phone off thinking
Well, I was
wasn't gonna
typing
have any.
when she asked that, so I didn't see it.
Anyways, so that's all that's going to be happening. So you guys have a whole week to put it together.
You're saying you gave us $5, Heather? Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Heather.
That's mighty kind of you.
All right. Yes, the East Coast is 3 hours different. The Central Standard is 2 hours different from my time right now.
Stitch width is 1/2 inch wide.
Oh,
Bernie's
yes, it's
asking.
this one is the 1/2 inch, yes.
Yep. She was curious on that.
Yep. It's, well, technically it's 5/8 of an inch by 15 yards. They go by 5/8 on here.
Hi,
So,
Debbie.
yeah, that is it. So it's the number right after 1/2 inch. But it as long as it's stitched, I have 2 different size ones. As long as it's double-sided, it sticks just fine. That's what I use. I'm telling you guys.
Jim
When
said
I first
earlier he
started
uses
using
duct
it,
tape.
When I first started using
That's
it,
my man right there.
it saved everything because I'm already at the
Duct
iron
tape.
pressing the whole entire Dresden out anyway to get ready to stitch it. So I mean, it comes out perfectly. You know what I mean?
And a lot of them were saying they use fabric glue.
Yeah, I don't even bother. I just put that stuff on. Psh, works easy. Plus, I don't have any fabric glue left. So. All right. So that's it. That's all
Well, thank you, Heather. We appreciate it.
That's all the announcements and things that are going on. Oh, I did create a scrappy block because I was attempting some paper piecing, like foundation paper piecing, but it was killing my hand. I can't do any foundation and or any paper piecing right now because for some strange reason, having to flip the fabric upside down and sew and all that stuff, and the trimming right after and the pressing and all that, it was absolutely horrible on my hand. But I did make this block out of scraps because I wanted to do something in the future that you guys would be able to print up. I wanted to make something you can print up and make a really cool block, but it did not come out. I thought it was going to look different, and it didn't. So I got to change things up. But this is the idea of something I'm trying to make for you guys. I was trying to make it something that could be printed up, but...
So you're 2 hours difference, Diane.
Yeah. All right, everybody. That's it. That's all I got. I really got to get more picking done because I really want to get started. And maybe tonight I'll edit that video and get it posted of the original stitching on the quilt out there that we were picking at earlier. I'll try to get that video put together because it's in like 3 pieces and I have to combine it and then I have to get rid of the sound. But I'll just leave because it's only like 20 minutes long. So I'll just post it in normal speed, not fast forward speed, so that you guys can see how to do wood grain and fill it in a large space. So, because I don't think I've ever showed wood grain yet. I've done it on plenty of things, but I've never showed you guys how to do it. So I'm trying to show you guys as many different ideas as possible. Other than that, I don't have anything else. So I'm going to get off of here, and then I'm going to eat some food and lay in bed. And then get up and pick a little bit. Because that's all I've been doing. Laying in bed, watch TV, get up and pick. Eat, get out, go back to picking. Lay in bed, go back to pick. That's all I've been doing for days. Alright, everyone. Thank you for hanging out. I hope that you guys can join the sew along on the 26th is when it starts. Hopefully you guys can get all your supplies together in time. And again, if you just want to make one block, I have no mind, but I would prefer, all of you who are joining to sew something, please share in the Facebook group. And if you can't share in the Facebook group, share with me by email, and then I'll share that photo in the Facebook group so that everybody can see the progress of everyone else's ideas and creations from my teachings. Because I've never done a sew along, and I know that everybody shares things. So this is my first ever sew along. It's not like a normal sew along because I really don't know how to do that, but it's the best I can do. All right, everyone. Thank you for hanging out. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new and you haven't already. Don't forget to ring that bell to get notifications. Don't forget to like my videos, share them with your quilty friends, and don't forget to comment if you're watching this as a replay, and look forward to a quilting video and the post about the supplies needed in the community tab as soon as I can get to it because I've been busy. So, bye guys. Love y'all. Thanks
Good
for hanging
night,
out.
everyone.